All right, graveyard talkers. Well, here we are in Metairie Cemetery. We're in Metairie, Louisiana, just outside New Orleans. Let me get this turned just a little bit for you. And here we are sitting in front of the original tomb of Josie Arlington. Tell you a little bit about Josie Arlington, and then we'll go into a short spirit box session right here, and then I'll do another session somewhere else in the cemetery. This is a very busy cemetery, and if you can hear, it's a very noisy cemetery. It's right along the expressway. So Josie Arlington was a madam in New Orleans, and she had a lot of powerful clients that would come to her establishment. And she died at a very young age, somewhere around 49, 50 years old. And she was buried here behind me. Very nice. Tip this back a little bit. A very nice looking burial spot. Well, not too long after she passed away, some of her very rich and powerful clients were starting to pass away, and their wives didn't want them to be buried in the same cemetery Josie was buried in. So together, they got enough political pressure against the cemetery that Josie was exhumed from her resting place, and they buried her somewhere. And nearly 100 years later, nobody quite knows where Josie is buried. Some say she's still buried in this cemetery. Others say that she was carted off someplace else. But it's kind of a shame when you think about it. She had a very nice resting area, wasn't hurting anybody, but the political powers to be, the women of the movers and shakers of New Orleans of the day, decided that they weren't going to have their husbands planted in the same spot, in the same cemetery of a madam where they used to visit. So with that, that's a nice little story I thought you'd be a little bit interested in. With that, I got the spirit box all set up, so we'll tell all the spirits here in Metairie Cemetery, all those who are buried here. My name is Randy. I come here in peace, and I'm here to hear what you have to say. If you'd like to uh, ask me a question, I've got a little sheet here with numbers from 1 to, let me see how much I got in here. 1 through, looks like about 18. 1 through 18. If you give me a number, I'll read that question. So I'm going to ask as soon as we start, if anyone has a question that they want to ask, and just give me a number, and I'll pull up that question, and we'll see what you have to say. We mean you no harm. We're here in peace, and we only want to get your story out to those who you wish to get this story out to. So with that, we'll start the session. Now, there's cars coming by that you can't see. There's cars coming by all the time. Very, very loud. I got about a 9. That's if I'm talking loud. That's why. I've got about a 9 noise level from the highway behind me. So let's get started and see what happens. Well, all right, everyone, once again, my name is Randy. If you'd like to talk to me, please give me your name. Josie. Let's start with Josie. Josie Arlington, are you here? I heard something, might have been in the ground. So let me ask Josie Arlington a question. Josie, apparently, according to news reports of the day, your body was uninterred, exhumed, and was buried somewhere else. Is that the truth, and how did you feel about that? I, I heard way down there it was fun, but I don't think it was her. Maybe that was one of the wives from the movers and shakers thinking it was fun. Josie, are you still buried in Metairie Cemetery? Did they move you to some other place in Metairie Cemetery? I heard here a couple of times, and it's all great. So maybe, Josie, are you happy where you're at now? And I heard friends come through, so maybe she's buried with friends. Maybe when they were putting her someplace, that there were some friends who allowed her to be buried in their crypt or burial plot or however it may have been. So is there anybody else? So let's do it this way. Is there anyone else who would like to come through who has something to say? Again, I do apologize if the noise is very loud. I'll try to edit out what I can of the noise. I do have a feature where I can edit out background noise. We'll see how that works. But is there anyone else who has anything else to say to us while we're sitting here in front of the original spot where Josie Arlington was buried?
Something of some
All right, well, let's do it this way. For those of you who want to speak to us, I have 18 questions here from 1 to 18. What question would you like me to answer? Give me a number. Somebody give me a number 1 through 18, and I'll ask that particular question. 13, right off the bat. Right off the bat, I heard 13. So let me go to 13 here. Let me set this down and find 13. All right. The question number 13 is for those who are buried here in Metairie Cemetery. Is it necessary for your loved ones to continue to visit your grave while you are alive? Not possible. I did hear it was not possible. I did hear it was don't. So if it's let's try here again. Is it important that they visit for you? It might not be important for everybody, but is it important for you that they visit your gravesite? I heard why. The living. For the spirit that came through and said it was not possible for them to visit you, why is it not possible? Everyone stop. Mary Ellen, I heard Mary Ellen in there. Mary Ellen, Okay, I heard everyone and then stopped. Mary Ellen, I heard Mary Ellen come through, so she's letting us know she's here today. Mary Ellen, are you guardian? Oh, are you guarding over this cemetery? All right. And to the spirit who said that they stopped, did they stop because they all passed away? I did hear after a second yes in there. So when they stopped, when they were visiting, did you enjoy them visiting you? And was it because, and how do you feel now that that you have nobody visiting you? Pretty much. All right, and so this happens to be one of the most visited cemeteries in the country. And in the beginning of this, I showed some of the crypts that are here. I believe 53,000 people have been interred here, and many of these graves are monuments like behind me. This is the Morales monument now, burial site, and there's at least 5 or 6 people buried here. And that's common here in New Orleans, how they do things. And of course, everything, as you know, if you know anything about New Orleans, it's all above ground for the most part. If it's in the ground, like this one behind me, if it's in the ground, then it is, raised up. It's got a raised bed on it because the water level is, right at ground level. We have light rain here today, and this flooded out in a lot of spots. So again, this is a cemetery to all the spirits here. This is a cemetery that is visited quite a bit. How do you feel about all the visitors that are coming here? Gimmicks? Do you wish that there were not so many out of town visitors like me coming to visit you here? Ooh. All righty, and another time I heard Rosemary being called out there. So, Rosemary, do you have anything to say to me? Rosemary, are you here to protect the memory of the spirit of Josie Arlington? I heard in the back. We're with her. How you doing? Hang on a second. Too much rain. When's it gonna stop? That was a jogger walking by, and of course down here. you don't say hi to people, they take it as an offense. So, got to say hi to people. So, I did ask if Mary Ellen was protecting Josie Arlington. I heard in the back, and we're actually in the front of the cemetery, in the back, and we're all here. So, maybe she has more than one protector. Um, and maybe they're all watching over her because she was given a rough shot, back in the day. So, Mary Ellen, is there anyone else here that you're protecting?
I'm on the mission.
The mission.
What? So,
All right, so we only have a few minutes left here before my time is up on this part of the cemetery. It's really starting to rain now quite a bit. Josie Arlington, do you have anything left to say? Does anyone else who is around me have anything they'd like to say? I do. Who said I do? And go ahead with what you want to say.
please. This
Were you all excited or are you all okay with me being here, trying to get your story out, trying to talk to you? Now I heard in their C, this is Morales, so I'm just going to assume they spoke Spanish. Could it have been they were saying C as in yes? I don't know.
Remember,
Pretty much. And I guess since you're all probably from New Orleans or had stuff to do with New Orleans, I guess you all enjoy the rain down here. For those of you who are actually from New Orleans and not Metairie, which were, like maybe 10 miles outside of New Orleans, why did you come out here instead of being buried in the city of New Orleans proper? Dirty? Maybe. All right, so I'm standing up here. I am actually looking at the Morales um, monument here. Captain Josie or Jose Morales, United States Merchant Marines. Jose, are you here with us? I have Jose. I have Eva Morales. I believe it'd be his wife. I have Catherine Morales and Rita Morales. Um, could have been. There's another Catherine Morales there. 1875. It looks like.
But it take about but no ever.
All right, so this will be my last moment here. And is there anyone else who would like to get anything out that they would like to say? When I'm going to go get out of the rain for a little bit. And if you're able to follow me around, I'll be going to the back of the cemetery, doing a session in the back of the cemetery for those back there. So anyone have anything else that they'd like to say before I leave?
About a friend. Yeah.
What about a friend? What about my friend? My friend's in the car. Or did you mean what about someone else's friend?
Sure.
All right, everyone. Well, as you can see, the rain is starting to come down a little bit harder. We got about, we had a few people come out there and talk to us. Hopefully, as I listen to it, as I always say, I'll listen to it. I'm going to turn around and sit down here. I'll listen to it. And hopefully, they have something good to say underneath that we couldn't pick up. Maybe they'll put it there, because I always truly believe they put stuff there so we can listen to it afterwards. And I hope you enjoyed this session in Metairie Cemetery. And we're going to go to the back. We're going to do another one. So stand by in a few days. We'll have another one up about being back here. And I'm going to hit a couple more cemeteries in the next couple of days. At least that's my attempt anyways. I don't want to just do one down here. I wanted really to get a few different spirit box sessions in. But anyways, if you enjoy what you're seeing here on my channel, please consider subscribing, giving a like up, and commenting. And with that, we'll see you on the next one.